What's going on, people, and welcome to Premier League predictions for game week 29. Hope everyone is well. Lots of football at the moment. There's quite a few games tonight. It's about 4 or 5 games. Champions League the last few days as well, and obviously coming round to the weekend there'll be more games, and then following into all the way up to Thursday next week for this game week coming. So let's get into it. So first up, we've got Brighton versus Liverpool on Saturday, early kickoff, 12:30. I've gone for a 2-0 Liverpool win. I think Brighton are struggling. They are at home, but against Liverpool, I think it's going to be too much. So I expect Liverpool to get the 3 points. I'm going to go 2-0. Brentford versus Burnley at 3. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Maybe Brentford could nick it. I think if Eriksen can get back to the level he was at before what happened to him, I do think that he could potentially be one of the vital points and key aspects in them staying up this year. But against Burnley, they're getting results lately. They're against teams that are maybe not people expecting them to get 3 points against and vital draws. And I think that this will be another one where they get at least a point from the game. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And then we got the big one, but it's not a United Liverpool, United City, but it's still a big game. It's Manchester United against Tottenham. 5:30 Saturday. I believe it's on Sky as well. I've gone for a draw, 2-2. Tottenham are doing quite well recently. Just won 5-0 against Everton as well. I think Kane in the last 3 or 4 weeks has been more like his old self. Obviously with Son there, he can always chip in with the goals. And I just think that they're getting results even if they're not playing great, Tottenham. But that 5-0 win against Everton will lead them into this game with a ton of confidence, even though it's at Old Trafford. So I think they're going to be really up for it. Obviously with Conte behind them, they've got that fire and that determination that they might not have had before. And I think it's going to be a difficult afternoon for us. I do think we could win, but I think the most logical and likely is it will be a draw. I think it'll be a cagey affair and a tight game. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that one. Moving on into Sunday, at 2 o'clock, we got Leeds versus Norwich. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Leeds win. They've got their issues at the moment. They've got a lot of problems. Bielsa obviously leaving. But I'd like to see this Jesse Marsch do well. I liked his first post-match interview after the game the other day. I like how he sounds, and I feel like people are getting him on his back a lot already because he's American and like he's claiming he wants to bring like the positivity in and that. And I think from what I've heard of him so far, and I'd like him to prove people wrong. So I'm going to go for a Leeds win. And I think Norwich, Smith did steady the ship. But they've kind of fell again recently. So I think that they're struggle. And I'm going to go for a Leeds win at home, 3-0. Everton versus Wolves. Lampard, unfortunately, is struggling more than I was anticipating he would. Got off to a kind of a good start there, but it's been very up and down, and recently it's been going even more down. Obviously, the 5-0 loss to Tottenham, he would have been fuming with. And Wolves are a team that are tricky to play against, don't concede a lot of goals, and can obviously nick games at the other end of the pitch. So I see Wolves getting the 3 points, and I'll go 2-0. Southampton versus Watford. Watford struggling. I think Dennis, for them, I feel sorry for him. I think he's far too good to be in that team. And I feel like he needs to be at a bigger club. And Southampton, under Hasenhüttl, I think he's doing a good job there. He's got some good youngsters in there. I think Livramento, Walker-Peters, that Piru on the other side. Obviously Ward-Prowse, I like that. Brozier up top as well. They've got a lot of good players and a lot of youngsters. And I think he's getting the balance right with them. And I think he's doing a really good job there. So, and they're at home for this one. I think they'll get the 3 points. So I'm going to go 3-1 Southampton. Chelsea versus Newcastle. Newcastle turned it around in the last month or so, getting results that they desperately needed. They're climbing. They're not really in the relegation now threat, so I think that they're safe. But they won't want to rest on their laurels, and they obviously want to get as many points as they can before the end of the season. But away at Chelsea, I think it's going to be tough. There's a lot of stuff going on around Chelsea right now with the ownership, and they're not being allowed to sell merchandise, or Abramovich apparently is not allowed now to sell the club because basically the government has freezed assets and freezed them doing anything with the club. So we have to wait and see what happens with that. There's talk that this game won't even go ahead now. We'll have to wait and see. But as it stands, I believe it is still going ahead. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Chelsea win. But with all that going on behind the scenes, you could understand if it did affect stuff on the pitch. But I think the players there are professional enough to get through that sort of thing, and the talent alone. So I'd expect them to still get the 3 points in this. But it's definitely a harder fixture than it would have been before Newcastle made the signings and before Eddie Howe came in. So I think Chelsea, it might take them a while to get the goal, but I think once they do, they'll be comfortable. So I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. West Ham versus Aston Villa. Obviously, Bowen's out for a long time now, which is a massive miss for them. I think he was been their best player this season. And with him out, I think that they're going to struggle. I'm not saying they can't win games, but that push for 4th place that they were after, I think, has gone now. They were already struggling with Bowen a little bit and not getting 3 points in certain games. With him now out, I think that's kind of their season done for that 4th place spot. And I think that they will struggle now. So I still expect them to get probably top 6, maybe. But with Bowen out, I could see them drastically falling now because he's been their best player by far for me. So, and Villa with Gerrard, they've been turning it around in recent weeks after going on a bad run of form. And I expect them to get a win in this one because Bowen's out. Yes, it's at West Ham, but I think because Bowen's going to be missing, I think he is going to be a massive miss. And they're going to struggle for the goals now, I think. So I think Villa have got more firepower and they got more momentum and confidence going into this one. So I'm going to go for a Villa 2-0 away win. Arsenal, Leicester, 4:30 on the Sunday. I think this would be a pretty tight game. But I think and expect Arsenal to get the 3 points with the way they're playing. I think Leicester have struggled this season quite a bit. And I see Arsenal doing enough in this one. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. And then we got, on the Monday, we've got Palace versus Man City. 8 o'clock kickoff. I've got to go for City. Palace can make it difficult for teams, especially at home. And I expect them to get a goal at least in this one. But it's going to be tough. But I do think that they could cause an upset. But not more than I can see City getting a win. So I'm going to go 3-1 Man City. And then we got Brighton versus Tottenham, 7:30 on Wednesday. I want to go for a 2-0 upset to Brighton in this one. I just think that I don't fancy their chances against Liverpool. And because of that, they're going to be desperate for points in the Tottenham game. And I think being at home, I think just obviously I don't think Tottenham are anywhere near the level of Liverpool. And I think the chances are that Brighton could cause more of an upset in that one than against Liverpool. So I'm going to go for the upset in that one. And because Tottenham are a bit more inconsistent than Liverpool, well, quite a lot more inconsistent than Liverpool, I think Brighton could cause the upset. So I'm going to go 2-0 Brighton for that one. And then on the Wednesday also, 8:15, we've got a big one in Arsenal versus Liverpool. The way they're both playing at the moment, I think it's going to be a bit more like it used to be back in the day. A bit of a tighter game, because over the last few years you would have said that Liverpool would have run away with that game. I've still gone for them to win, but I think it'd be a lot tighter, and I'm going to go for 2-1 away for Liverpool, but it should make for a good game. And lastly for this game week, guys, on the Thursday 7:45 kickoff, Everton versus Newcastle, which is actually on Amazon Prime. I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win to Newcastle. I think Everton are really struggling. And I like Lampard and I want him to do a good job. But I feel like the players aren't really responding consistently at the moment. And I think the way and the momentum and confidence Newcastle have got at the moment, I see them getting through that game and getting a vital 3 points away from home. I may be wrong, but I do see and fancy Newcastle more than Everton in that one. So I'm going to go for 2-0 Newcastle. That's it for this game week, guys. Let me know your predictions in the comments and who your team's got and how you fancy their chances. And I'll be back soon.